Hi guys, welcome back. This is Nancy. Today we're going to be playing with a new stamp from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps. This is part of the May 2020 new release. And this is called Happy Hedgehog. And it's a really cute little hedgehog, and I thought it would be really quick and easy and fun to color him in with some Pan Pastels. I know a lot of you purchased the Pan Pastels from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps and we're looking for ways to use them in color images, so we're going to do it with this one. All right, so first thing I've done is I have already mounted my rubber stamp in my Mini Misty, and because this is a red rubber stamp, you don't need the foam insert. Now on my Mini Misty, I took one of the grid sheets and I have laminated it, and then I have a little piece of like sticky grid underneath there, and we have a piece of Neenah Solar White cut down to, I believe, 5 by 3 3/4, stuffed into the left corner, and I'm just going to put the magnet up here in the corner just to hold all that down. All right, and we are going to ink it up. We are using the VersaFine Clair in Nocturne, and it has one of the handy dandy rubber handles on there, so I don't have to worry about dropping the ink pad. So we're going to ink him up. Again, Blue Knight Rubber Stamps is a US-based company. They manufacture their own rubber stamps. Very quick for shipping, high quality, and just overall good company to do business with. All right, so I have to make sure my paper's in the bottom left-hand corner here, and I'm just going to stamp it one time. All right, we have a very good outline stamp there. I'm very happy with that. Now I'm going to take out the whole laminated piece, okay? And we're just going to move this Mini Misty aside. Now this is still kind of exposed and sticky, so I'm going to put the backer sheet on there just to protect that from my Pan Pastels. There we go. All right, but the rest of that is good. I don't even think I need to heat set it. I think it's pretty good to go. Now, Blue Knight Rubber Stamps sells 2 Pan Pastel sets. They sell the Sunrise Sunset, which is basically what you see here. You get 7 colors in that pan. And then they sell the Day and Night pan, which are these 7 colors here. I always recommend getting the colorless blender. That's going to help you out. And I have some other Pan Pastels I may be bringing in, which I've purchased separately. I will link those for you as well. I also have off to the side the Cloud Stencil, which is from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps. We'll use that a little later. Okay. So we're going to start with coloring this in. When you order your Pan Pastels from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps, you do get a set of soft tools. So you get some larger ones, some smaller ones. So I'll be using a variety of the tools that I have. You can also pick up some tools at your local craft store, just some blending brushes. I know that some people also even use makeup applicators. So that's totally up to you on, what you're going to use to blend. Okay, so we're going to start with, I guess, the grass. So we're going to use our Day and Night palette, and the 2 greens that I have are Chromium Oxide Green and Bright Yellow Green. What I like about using the Pan Pastels is they're very easy to color with. And if you make a mistake, all you have to do is erase it. And they're very easy to clean up. So if you're in a hurry, you don't have to worry about, I got all of these colors out. I need to put everything away. You basically just have to wash your hands. That's it. Okay. These little brushes I picked up from Hobby Lobby, I believe. I'm going to go in with some of the darker green first. Now, what are Pan Pastels? They're a highly pigmented artist quality chalk, basically, pastel, but they don't have the dust that regular traditional chalks have, and they're in a pan form. So you can use these in conjunction with any kind of chalk pencils you have, any stick pastels that you have. They all work very well together. And there are many quality artist page. You can actually find them on Facebook as well, where you can see how artists use these products blend them, use them with other mediums, and they're very, very forgiving. You can see I'm just kind of dipping into my different colors of greens. Just kind of coloring that in. Let me get my stem here. Okay, so we have various colors of green. I think it looks pretty good. Everything looks pretty filled in. All right, that's pretty easy. Okay, let's do the flower. I'm thinking a nice traditional yellow, maybe a yellow orangey flower. So I'm gonna grab our other palette, which is Sunrise Sunset. We're gonna use our I always mess up the name of that. Diary Lied Yellow. They do come in these pans when you order them from Blue Night Rubber Stamps as well. You do not have to keep the lids on them. Personal preference. I don't even think I kept any of my lids. I don't need them at all. You can purchase a little pack of these little soft tools as well from Blue Night Rubber Stamps. So very easy to order and get started as soon as they show up at your door. And I'm going to dab a little bit into the orange. Just kind of bring that orange up in the centers, a little bit in the shadows. And back in with my yellow, just making sure I have everything filled in. Okay. Looks pretty good. All right. Now all we need to do is color in our hedgehog. I went on YouTube and looked up, or not YouTube, Google, and looked up some colors of hedgehogs, and they seem to be pretty much brown, tan, things like that. So maybe a little bit of gray in the underbelly. So let's see if we can duplicate some of that. I'll do a little bit of brown. This is called Burnt Sienna Shade, which is like a reddish brown, and I do believe that is part of the Sunrise Sunset palette. Like a reddish brown. That actually looks pretty nice. Okay, and then there is a darker red brown, which is called Red Iron Oxide, which is a deep dark red. I'm going to put that just in the center of my flower here. Here we go. Look at that. Sprinkle some of that in here too. It's a deep, I don't know how to explain it. It's a brown with a reddish undertone to it. Okay, that looks pretty good. I want to keep the rest of him pretty light. So what you can do is you can actually mix your colors and lighten the brown up by adding some white. I think I want to do his belly a little bit gray though, so I'm going to grab one of my other palettes here. Just check out my grays. Ooh, I like both of those. Okay, but I want the warmer gray, not the cool gray. So the warmer gray is called Neutral Gray. And so I'm starting where the hash marks are. Again, I've said this time and time again about Blue Night rubber stamps is they pick very easy to color images, and the artist has already done the work with highlighting and shadowing the area. So I've started with that dark gray in these darker areas and then spread that into the lighter areas. So that's how easy it is to color this image. Pretty much done. Now, if you wanted to kind of do more detail, you can go in with an eraser. I do have an eraser. This little electric eraser I just picked up. And I'm going to go in and I just press with a very light touch right on this little button here. And it will start rotating the eraser. And I'm just going to erase any spots where I think I've kind of overcolored outside the lines. And because the eraser is so small, it goes right into those fine areas very easily. Okay, that's pretty well cleaned up. Looks pretty good. It does come with this little brush that you can use to dust off any of those eraser bits. A little bit around the flower here. But you can see how easy it was to color that in. Now all we have to do is add our clouds, which is really easy to do. So we're going to take our cloud stencil. I'm going to go back to our day and night palette. And we're going to use the two blues. We have turquoise and turquoise tint, which is the lighter blue. So I'm going to go between these two. And all you do is you just grab your clean sponge. I'm going to go into the lighter one first. And I just like to pull down right onto that stencil. My sponge is not so clean. Let me clean that quick. Very easy to clean. Just going to take some paper towel. Wipe that. There's some darker blue left on there from previously. All right, let's try that again. There we go. All right, now we're going to move the stencil over a little bit. I'm going to go in with the turquoise, which is a little bit darker blue. Oh yeah, there we go. And then move the stencil over again. I'm going to go back in with the lighter blue. So I'm kind of alternating. And I haven't dipped back in. I'm just using what's left on the sponge and just doing these ends here. Okay, so now it kind of looks like a hot mess because there's a lot of color there, and you can see some of the fallout from the Pan Pastels, which is fine. What we're going to do now is going to clean our sponge off. And remember, I said I always recommend using the colorless blender. That's where this is going to come into play now. So we're going to use our same sponge. Just want to make sure that it is very clean. Just by knocking off some of that excess Pan Pastel off of there. Okay, and we're going to go in with the colorless blender, load up our sponge, and I like to pull from the bottom up, okay? And as you do this, you'll notice that the colors kind of blend in the sky. It doesn't affect any of the other colors, and there's no more harsh lines, and it looks like we have this cloudy skyline background. It's all blended, it's smooth, it's very soft. Okay. Now, one more thing you can do if you really wanted to kind of make it stand out is go back in with your eraser and kind of shape some of those clouds. So, you know, we have some clouds here. Just like to do some kind of random poofy clouds. And then again, just go back in with your colorless blender and kind of knock some of that out of there. So it gives us, you know, where it doesn't look like we actually followed a stencil. Okay, so now we want to take this clear plastic off. We are done coloring our image. Super easy to do, right? What did that take us? 15 minutes? 16 minutes, okay. We're going to bring our mini Misty back in. We're going to put our image back into the, whoopsie. Now that may not work. Well, what you would do is put this image back in the bottom left corner. Mine came unstuck. Hopefully yours doesn't come unstuck. So I want to make sure this is all the way in the bottom left corner. And then we would ink it up and stamp again. Now because my paper moved, we'll see how well this comes out. I ran out of Ranger sticky grid, so I'm using this other kind of generic sticky grid, and it's just not as sticky as Ranger sticky grid. So I would recommend a Ranger sticky grid if you can get your hands on that. All right, let's try to re-stamp this and see how it comes out. Perfect! Great. So here is our Happy Hedgehog, stamped and colored with Pan Pastels. Of course, you want to set your Pan Pastels. The way that you can do that is with hairspray or some kind of a spray fixative. This is the fixative that I use. This is the Shortcuts Krylon spray that comes in matte and gloss. And all I do is I put this in my spray box and give it a quick spritz and then let it dry, and it's all set to go. Otherwise, your Pan Pastels could rub off. So there we go. That is the Happy Hedgehog from Blue Night Rubber Stamps. Again, you want to pick up the cloud stencil, the magnetic handle, and Pan Pastels. You can pick all of those up from Blue Night Rubber Stamps. I will link everything down in the description for you below. If you have any questions, post them down in the comments. If you like this video, I always appreciate your thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and keep on stamping. Bye-bye.